Well, good morning and welcome to another edition of Pray on This. I'm your host, John Pray. Before we get going, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'm also going to be joining Rumble this weekend, so look for me there as well. Well, as this week comes to an end, and after a very silly couple of days, first of all, the left-wing media attacking Pierre Poilievre for asking a very simple question of David Johnston, the special rapporteur. Mr. Johnston, how can you investigate the possible election interference by using the Trudeau Foundation as the medium when you're a member of the board? And the left wing going absolutely nuts and saying that, oh, Justin has nothing to do with it, Justin has nothing to do with it. And then when it looks like it's going to resonate, Justin at the University of Manitoba just all of a sudden out of nowhere starts to have a debate with a young man who's a PPC supporter who Justin turns it around and goes on about abortion rights and over a woman's right to choose. These are always great liberal tactics whenever it looks like things are going to go wrong. Which brings me to my topic this week, the desire to underestimate your political opponents. I've noticed that it's growing, and it's a problem on both sides of what will be the real fight in the next federal election. Yes, the true main event will be 12 rounds of verbal boxing for the Prime Minister's Office of Canada. In the blue corner, the challenger. He's 44 years old. He's fighting out of the riding of Carleton, Ontario, by way of Calgary, Alberta. He is the leader of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition, leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, and this is his first challenge for the title. He is the Honourable Pierre Poilievre. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he's 52 years old, and he comes from us from the riding of Papineau by way of Ottawa and Montreal. He is currently in the 8th year of his reign. This is the 3-time undefeated champion in his 4th title defense. He is the 23rd Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau. Now, I channeled my inner Michael Buffer, and no, I can't use his catchphrase because it is copyrighted, but let's get to what I really want to talk about. And first, for those of you who support the NDP, the Green, and the PPC, whether you want to hear it or not, Jill Duceppe said it in 2011, and it's still the facts today. There are two men, unless Justin takes a walk, who have a chance to be Prime Minister after the next federal election. That's Pierre Poilievre or Justin Trudeau. It doesn't matter how many times Jagmeet Singh says, when I'm Prime Minister, I'm sorry, Jimmy, but there's a better chance of the oceans turning yellow, the sky purple, and the leaves on the trees coming out orange with pink polka dots than you ever being the Prime Minister of Canada. Now, when we look at Poilievre and Trudeau, we have two totally different styles of leaders, and I don't just mean in their policy or politics. I'm talking about their delivery of message, how they debate, and how they answer questions to the media, how that message is received, and supporters of both sides think that their man is the best and that the other guy is just going to be an easy pushover that their man's going to destroy. The Liberals believe that Poilievre, with his prickly style, will just turn voters off, and his message will never resonate with voters. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that they feel that he's a nerd, or it's the suit and tie. He never has a hair out of place. He's got a real preachy style, and he seems to have the arrogance of a Bay Street trader. His debating skills are heavy on the attack side, and his condescending when it comes to, see, your policies didn't work. I told you they wouldn't work, will turn voters off, especially women. That's what the Liberals are praying for. They also are going on right now about the fact that he hasn't released a policy platform and what would he do different. Well, Stephen Harper is 100% right in his advice to Poilievre. Don't release any of that until the next election, because the Liberals will just try and steal it. Similarly, the Conservatives believe that Justin Trudeau's style of being the cool high school teacher with his flowing hair, his shirt sleeves rolled up, the top button undone, the tie loose, and that breathy delivery that he uses that the leftists drool over, and ladies who base their vote on whom they would rather go to bed with than rather who's competent in doing the job, will finally be exposed as being a bum who got this far in life because he has charm and style, but zero substance and the perfect last name. They believe that his bad record will finally catch up with him, and we have the leader now that has the no prisoner style. He's a firebrand, and Poilievre's just going to eat him alive. The PMO's keys belong to us. Well, I hate to tell you this, but if both sides continue to believe this, you're going to lose. The Conservatives can be stuck in tunnel vision that says the Liberals' record alone, the massive debt, the high spending, high taxes, and their incompetence management of the civil service will defeat them. But we're overlooking a simple fact. Justin Trudeau has defeated Stephen Harper, Andrew Scheer, and Aaron O'Toole. Anyone who wants to say, well, Harper was going for his fourth straight win and people want to change, Scheer was just way too conservative, and O'Toole was just too unknown to be a great frontman. That's why Justin won. Well, you're not giving Justin credit where it's due. Say what you want about him, but he is a master of the campaign. He does identity wedge politics issues better than anyone I've ever seen. He has a unique ability to find the issue and use it to drive a wedge with swing voters, to choose the devil they know, him, over the devil they don't know. And in this case, it would be Poilievre. He also is a master of what's called the deflect, cue, confuse, attack answer to questions. It goes something like this. Mr. Trudeau, do you have a comment on the mass resignation of the board of directors at the Trudeau Foundation, which they claim is due to over-politicalization due to the Chinese election interference scandal? Justin pauses for a moment, then he gets all breathy and it's, I just want to say that it's a sad time in Canada when certain people will attack the good work of charities and foundations for short-term political gain. These charities and foundations do very good work. I want to say that my only association with the foundation is that it's named after my late father and I have that last name. I think we really must ask why the Conservatives are attacking charities and foundations, especially with all the good work that they do. Yeah, I paraphrased Justin's answer, but the question was specific about the Trudeau Foundation, yet the way Justin answered it, he turned it to make it about all charities and all foundations. And then it could be said, and then he won't name who the people are that are doing the attacking in the beginning, but he makes it out that, well, it may be the Trudeau Foundation are attacking, but they just as easily could be going after the United Way or the Salvation Army. Then he goes to phase two, which is the deflection. I have nothing to do with the Trudeau Foundation. It's only my last name that even ties me to it. Finally, he puts blame on someone, and in this case, he uses his personal political opponent. He doesn't even touch on who actually made the accusations and who reported it, which is CSIS made the accusations, and it was the Globe and Mail and Global News who reported it. See, it's don't really answer the question, deflect blame, and then attack your political rival and try and pin the blame on him. He's so good at doing it that before anybody realizes he didn't answer anything, what we got was word salad, he's gone off the stage. On the other hand, I think it's the Liberals who are showing the most disrespect to the talent of their opponent. I'm not really sure what they think they are proving with trying to point out that Poilievre was extremely young, only 24 when he was first elected, that he never had a real job outside of being an MP. That is a real job, by the way. Yet, he's done a lot of things that our son of a millionaire prime minister has never done. He was a paperboy. Justin was never a paperboy. He held part-time jobs in high school and university. Well, Justin had a trust fund. And you know, after graduating university, well, he was working on political campaigns. He, with a partner at 22 years of age, started up their own company called 3D Contact Inc. And he didn't have a last name to trade on. Nor do they consider that when he was first elected, his riding at the time was not considered a safe conservative seat, but he did win it. And his seat is not right beside his famous prime minister father seat, as Papineau is right beside Mount Royal. Yes, Pierre isn't a textile politician, but the way they're attacking him, going about it by making up silly nicknames like PP, referring to urine, thinking that because he looks like a nerd from high school days who's become an investment banker and has got rich, so now he's out looking for revenge against the popular kids. Well, he's not the popular kid, so why should we even listen to him? This is where the liberals are making their biggest mistake. Pierre is a master of straight common sense talk. He's using it with the biggest issues that we're currently facing: cost of living, high interest rates, and rising crime rates, which whether they're Justin Trudeau and the Liberals' fault or not, he is masterfully laying the blame at Justin's feet, and it's sticking. He's not playing defense. In politics, when you're defending, you're losing. Some of his MPs sit down with a controversial politician. He denounces that politician, but he defends his MPs, saying they made a mistake. They will sit in my caucus, but they will not do it again. And then, when Trudeau thinks, oh, I've got you now because of the MGTOW tags on some of his social medias, he just does a quick, simple sweep to the side, saying, I make the content, but it's assistants who look after the social media page. They must have put the hashtags on, but they've been removed. Then he turns it and says, but the deeper question is, why are there so many disaffected young men, Mr. Prime Minister? Is it because they're 35 years old, living in their parents' basement, who, even though they have a job, they can't afford to move out or have a place to even bring a date home? So how the hell do they start a family? How the hell do they move forward in life? To the Champagne Socialists, who are the current core voters of the Liberal Party of Canada and their brain trust, they see this as childish, whiny talk. Yet the message is resonating. There are two other thrusts where the Liberals are very off course. The fact that at 44 years old, Poilievre has been an MP for 19 years and lacks real-world experience. They forget that an easy comparison could be drawn to Justin, who at 44 became our Prime Minister, and the only real world experience he had was being a school teacher for 3 school years, of which he took leave for half of a school year. He was a whitewater rafting guide for a single season and a ski instructor for a single season. Not really great worldly experience. Definitely not the kind of work that a prime minister should have. They also miss the fact that in 19 years in Parliament, Mr. Poilievre has been a cabinet minister, a parliamentary secretary, and he has now been a leader of a party for a year. Then they attack his education, saying, well, he's only got a BA, and even that he had to finish it part-time while he was working as an MP. I hold 3 degrees. I took 2 of them before I started to work. I took my business degree while working full-time, 40 hours a week, being a father and a husband. I can tell you it's not an easy thing to do, and I applaud Poilievre for finishing it. I'd also say that his degree in international relations far better sets him up to be a world leader than a degree in classic literature and a degree in education. But then again, when you have your daddy's famous last name, it's easy to trade to get your job. When it comes down to this fight, it has the potential to be a very good one, because as I said, both men are very good campaigners. But I do have a bias. I firmly believe that after losing 3 straight elections, conservatives have learned some valuable lessons. Do not play the opponent's game. That is, define yourself. Don't let them define you. Stay out of emotional identity wedge issue politics. That never works well for conservatives. And don't be in a rush to release what you're going to campaign on. Hold that close to the vest until it's the right time to drop it. That way Justin and the Liberals can't steal it. As for the Liberals, they gleefully cheered when Poilievre was elected the Conservative Party of Canada leader. They viewed him as the leader they could most likely defeat. They feared the fatherly figure of similar values but tighter with the pocketbook that was Jean Charest. They thought that would be the harder path to victory and to hold on to government. They were so happy and so overconfident, they let Pierre define himself. They never got a chance to do it. They believe that all Canadians see in Pierre Poilievre what they see, an attack dog, a revenge of the nerds type character who they can just run over without a problem. They did what those who have grown arrogant and overconfident always do. They looked at the surface of the water, but they never checked to see how deep it was before they waded in. They assumed, and I believe many advisors, staffers, and supporters still do assume, that Pierre is nothing to worry about. If all else fails, we're going to pull out gay rights, a woman's right to choose, and the fact that he's a conservative and conservatives are racist. They have still not realized two critical things. The first is Pierre went to political school under the father of modern conservatism, Preston Manning, and he served his apprenticeship under Stephen Harper, a three-time winning prime minister who served 10 years. That makes him dangerous and politically astute. They can't go after him on gay rights. Yes, in the beginning he voted against gay marriage, but that was a young man's reaction to his father and mother getting a divorce and his father coming out as gay. Since then, he's grown up. He's examined it. And as an adult man myself, whose parents divorced when I was an adult, or a person who did get divorced with his children being adults, I can say from both sides. I was very mad at my parents, both of them, and more mad at my father when they divorced. And my children were very mad at me when my ex-wife and I divorced. It's a natural thing. But Pierre has accepted the fact that his father is gay. He's still very much part of his life. He attended his father's wedding to his new partner, and they are part of his life. You can't attack him on LGBTQ issues. You can't go after him as being a racist. His wife is not only a very educated and beautiful woman, but she's also a woman of color, and she's a refugee. Can't even say he's anti-racist. His children are biracial. He's adopted, but he's stated before he ever became CPC leader that he respects a woman's right to choose. I believe the advantage sits with Poilievre and the Conservatives, because after 8 years, we know who Justin Trudeau is. That's 8 years of our Prime Minister, 10 years as Liberal Party leader. We know what we're looking at. We know his style. We know his games. We even know when he's telling lies. And we've even been able to determine when his gotcha moments like that latest debate with that kid for university are setups. We've also learned that no matter how much Justin uses that phrase, we're the only party that's supporting the middle class and those who are working hard to join it. That our trust fund, Silver Spoon Prime Minister, wouldn't know what the middle class was, those working to join it, or what work actually is. Justin Trudeau, for all his success, has never faced an opponent like Pierre Poilievre. He defeated the aging veteran trying for one more day in the sun, Harper, the placeholder, because that's all Andrew Scheer really was, and the black sheep nobody knew, Aaron O'Toole. Poilievre is the young gun who has put the time and work in to master his craft. He may not have the famous last name, but he can talk the talk and he can walk the walk. His message is reaching ears and minds of those who traditionally never support a conservative. And he's yet to release an election platform. What is coming, I fear, for the Liberal Party of Canada is an election where their belief is that even though times are tough, people in the end will see Pierre Poilievre the way they see him, and it'll be a walk in the park. So Justin will cruise to victory, take his victory lap, resign, and then pass on power to the newly appointed Liberal leader. They cannot, in their worst nightmare, see what I see coming. Trudeau, who has been a boxer himself, and so was I, and like all aging boxers, myself included, believe they have one last great fight in them. However, for every George Foreman who shocks the pundits and experts and delights his fans one last time, I can give you the names of dozens of fighters, including Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, and Mike Tyson, who have tried and embarrassed themselves. Justin Trudeau was not well liked. As a matter of fact, the majority of Canadians downright hate the man. His current policies are not working. His party seems unable to correct the to correct the course, have a renewed vision of hope where Canada will come out of this. He's also fallen victim to hubris. He still believes he is the apex predator of the Canadian political landscape, yet he has ignored the signs that his father Pierre, Brian Mulroney, and Jean Chrétien all saw and heeded, and then got out of the game. Justin is no longer the apex predator. He's now prey, and he's being stalked masterfully by the new apex predator in Canadian politics, Pierre Poilievre. The Liberals will head into the next election believing they will come out still the governing party, that their tried and true methods of confusion, followed by the smear tactics of throwing as much emotional mud, the woman's right to choose, gay rights, indigenous reconciliation, and a whole bunch of we care, we care, we care, and the conservatives don't at Poilievre, praying to God it's all going to stick. Because they truly believe that in the end, we will all see Poilievre the way the hardcore Liberal supporters see him. What I see is they've already lost the next election, whether it's this fall, next spring, or we make it all the way to 2025. When the election's called, it's over. They're not only going to not be the government, if they don't realize the path they're on, they're going to be lucky to still be an official party. That, as always, is pray on this. Hit that like button, subscribe, get out and enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be pretty nice before temperatures go back to their regular April low teen digits. And I will see you again real soon. God bless you all.